Welcome, trainers! This is the MetapodCast coming at you live from Viridian Forest. I am CharlieChespin and I am joined with my co-host
JellieBee! Hello!
And this is the first episode of the MetapodCast.
It's a long time coming.
Yeah, we've been planning this for a long time. And we're finally doing it.
We kind of have like our own podcasts to ourselves on like long car journeys, don't we?
Yeah.
And we discuss like everything and they're like, we should do a podcast.
Yeah.
So now you guys get to hear it.
Yeah, so I don't know what we're going to talk about on our long car journeys now because we're just going to have to save everything for this. But
yeah, I guess we'll just have to like sit in an awkward silence and not think about Pokemon.
Yeah. Okay, so, well, seeing as it's the first episode and everything, do you want to maybe introduce yourself?
I can do. So my name is Morgan. I'm better known on the internet as JellieBee, as a artist, watercolour artist. I'm branching out into playing video games and stuff now, so I decided that I wanted to get more involved in Pokemon in general, and I guess I've been playing Pokemon since I was like 9 years old. It's like 20 years of my life, and I've been there since like almost day one for Britain anyway, not like Japan. And my favourite Pokemon is Tyranitar. Over to you, Charlie.
Very nice. You say you're getting into video games like you've never played one
before.
No.
I've been playing them since, but I mean like I'm getting into doing it online, I guess. I want to make videos about video games rather than painting. So, yeah.
Cool. So, I'm Charlie, and I go by CharlieChespin. I've also been playing Pokemon since forever, since Pokemon Blue version, which is the best one.
No,
Don't
yellow.
at me.
Yellow!
Yeah, that was my first Pokemon game. My first Pokemon card was a common Ponyta from base set, which I was given by one of the older kids on my school bus. My first ever rare card that I got out of a pack was base set Electrode, so that was pretty cool. No Charizards, but you know, got to start somewhere.
No Shadowless Space Charizard.
No. And you probably haven't heard of me because I don't do a lot of online stuff, but I do make some videos on like TCG, and I do stream on Twitch sometimes when I get the time. But we are both here today to talk about, Pokemon and stuff, I guess.
Really?
I think that's what this podcast is going to be mostly about, is we're going to talk about Pokemon for as long as possible.
Yeah. Stuff like our opinions, I guess TCG, VGC is something we're looking into this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I should mention that I'm a pretty big TCG player.
Yeah.
Like I've qualified for the World Championships like 4 or 5 years. I forget how many now.
Yeah.
It's been a
You've got a cabinet full of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I've dabbled in VGC and always like been interested in competitive battling. But yeah, when Sword and Shield comes out, I really want to hit that. That'd be sweet.
I've been wanting to get into VGC for a while, but I felt a bit... I mean, we'll talk about like our favourite games and stuff, but I didn't really connect to Sun and Moon, so I didn't want to get involved with that. But I looked into it a lot during Gen 4, but I never competed, and like, to be honest, I'm terrified of competing, but I should be okay. Got a lot of good friends in that, haven't we? So yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah,
we'll have someone else joining us as a team as well, aren't we? We might have 2 others.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
it could be like a proper like esports thing.
Yeah, we'll get like
not.
jackets. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, my first kind of foray into VGC was around like Gen 4 as well. However, this was when the actual like sanctioned events that like the Pokémon Company put on, they put on these like regional tournaments that you could go to, but there was no guarantee that you could play because so many people would show up, and you would get assigned a number based on when you registered. And then they would have a lottery, like they only had so many places in the tournament. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember I went to my first VGC tournament and I did not get to play.
Wow.
I believe it was really cool. They gave out, they gave you numbers, but obviously your number was associated with a Pokemon, like the Pokedex number. So I believe I was Golem.
Oh, wow.
and Graveler and Geodude were picked for not Golem.
Oh,
So
that's so sad.
but I'm sure my team was awful at the time. So
It was just 6 Arceus.
Probably. I don't believe that would have been allowed. Yeah. I don't even think Arceus was like out legally by then.
I think it came out in HDSS, didn't it?
Yeah. It was one of those giveaway ones. Like
you got the flute.
Yeah. No.
Was it
what?
a flute?
No, that's. I think that's the intended thing. Like the Azure flute.
Yeah.
Which was in Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. That's like the intended event that Arceus or Arceus or however you're supposed to.
I say arc because
I
mean in England the word arse is like a swear word almost like it's a bad word.
That's true.
I can't bring myself to say it.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure they never actually did the Azure Flute event like giveaway. At least
I thought they did.
I don't think they did. I'm pretty sure it was just like a download thing.
I feel like it was linked to the 3 dogs in quotation marks because you can't see us. We're doing a recording, and oh gosh, sorry about that. My mother's texting me, and I'm sure it was. I do you know what? I don't know. I've slept a long time since then. I was in uni. It's nearly 10 years.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
A long time.
I know that in. I never did this personally. I think there's like some side quest. It might be like a downloadable event for Heart Gold and Soul Silver where if you had the event Arceus that you got off of this download, you could bring it to like a special like event area in Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Wasn't it
the Sinjo Ruins? Yeah, and Cynthia's there, and then you can spawn one of the creation trio.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So that's what I remember is that they never did the actual Arceus event where you go to the spear pillar and you use the Azure Flute, which the item was coded into the original games, but they never gave it out. So
it's like the Celebi event. It never happened back in like Gold and Silver days.
Well, it happened in Japanese Crystal.
Yeah.
So
well, that's
technically
very inclusive.
Yeah, it's because in the West we didn't get the wireless communication for the Game Boy Color. I think it was
because of the mobile data thing. Wasn't
it? Because they were like pretty far ahead of the West as far as mobile data went on lots of electronics.
They probably still are. They're probably on like 10G at the moment.
But I'm sure me not playing in that regional saved me from a lot of embarrassment because I remember building my team to go and play like singles, but it was double battles.
Oh no! That's pretty bad. You might have scraped through.
I don't think so. No, I remember watching like the double strategies at the time, like the stuff that we think in doubles Pokemon like is really sort of like rudimentary strategies. Like back then, to me, that was like revolutionary. Like using Zapdos and Garchomp together, like using Earthquake on Garchomp so you don't hit your Zapdos, and then Zapdos uses Discharge so you don't hit the Garchomp, and that was, I'm sure I would have been
like,
absolutely destroyed.
Like the Vine of the Cat, where they put the flower on its head and you're sent to another like dimension. Yeah. It was amazing. So, we're talking about, a little bit today, we're going to talk about the press conference.
Yeah, so that happened a couple of days ago. So
we have the Direct tomorrow, so hopefully we can get this up tonight because we've unfortunately had to delay it. It was Sunday, I was not well, and then yesterday time just went. Yeah. And so we're getting it done today. Should be every Sunday though.
Well, I mean, we haven't really decided what the schedule is.
Yeah, we haven't. I think I put Sunday somewhere on the YouTube page. I can always change that.
But yeah, weekly in some sense of that, I guess. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Pokemon business press conference, business strategy thingy. Yeah. So that happened a couple of days ago.
Kind of cool that it was actually broadcast. Like, how many companies do we know that would broadcast a full like press conference?
Well, so they
know we're nerds. They know we need to know this.
Yeah. Yeah, I do really like that. And they've done it the past 2 years as well,
yeah.
because Pokemon Go was announced at the first one 2 years ago, I think.
I remember that.
2017?
No, wasn't it a bit... 16?
Maybe it's been 3 years since they've started doing it. Because I remember, like, the first one was Pokemon Go, and then the next... last year they announced Let's Go.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I think Go's been out a bit long. I feel like it's been out longer.
Yeah, I don't know. Has it been out 2 years or 3 years now? I think probably 3 years.
We'll let the comment section scream us.
Yeah.
It's been 4, you idiots.
Yeah. So they announced like a bunch of games and a bunch of other projects that they're doing, like the new
Shibuya store.
Yeah, the Shibuya Pokemon Center. I can't wait to go
is
there.
A dream, though. It's if you go to Japan, you've got to go to Shibuya. It's just amazing.
Yeah, you'll awaken your persona. It's fine.
Yeah. Honestly, I felt like I was in Persona.
Yeah.
It was surreal.
Shibuya is where the Scramble Crossing is, right?
Yeah.
Because
there's actual signs in the train stations, and it's like the crossing is this way, and you follow it up, and you come out, and it's just there in front of you, and so many people.
Yeah, so many foreigners stopping in the middle to take a picture.
To take pictures. And Japanese people just trying to go about their daily life. And
please.
So we found like a little corner bit where we could take photos, but even still, there was like models and stuff having photographs taken.
Oh yeah.
Like professional photographers and models and stuff. So I guess like Anne from Persona, like that kind of vibe I got. So there was like women getting their photos taken outside Shibuya, and it was really cool. What a good experience. So any excuse to go back.
That is pretty cool.
Including a Pokemon Center.
Yeah, Pokemon Center and the Nintendo store.
Nintendo store, yeah. So that's a world second.
Yeah.
You've been to the one.
Yeah, I've been to Nintendo
World.
Yeah, Nintendo World. I was going to say Nintendo Center, but that's not right.
Shop.
Nintendo place. Yeah, in New York, where I've been multiple times now. And it's really cool every time. I haven't been when they've had like a game release, or when they've had like some sort of live stream going on, because they have like basically an entire wall of TVs on the second floor, where like I've seen like pictures and like videos of like people just watching, like the store's packed of people watching like whatever's going on Nintendo wise on this screen. But yeah, Nintendo World, Nintendo Store in Shibuya, can't wait for that. That's going to be sweet.
Like, I'd love to see it, because the only stores that I've been to have been Pokemon Centers, and obviously they're just, it's like you walk in and you've just been transported to another place. It's just incredible. Like the music's playing, there's giant Pokemon everywhere, there's more merchandise than you would ever be able to afford, and it's just incredible. So seeing a Nintendo one, I think I'd very much enjoy that.
Yep.
Especially the Zelda merch. Like, yes, finally. But I'd love to see one in London, Europe, anywhere, France. I'll get a boat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They had that.
They had a pop-up store.
They had a pop-up place in
Pokemon
Paris,
Company,
right?
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
They also had, not really related, but Ken Sugimori and Satoshi Tajiri.
Yeah.
Came to London once for a signing event, and I couldn't go. I was really upset, and that was really cool. So they could do with coming back.
I think when I was at the 2014 World Championships in Washington DC, cards, yeah. I mean, it's all in the same place, like cards, VGC. It's all in the same venue. Yeah,
just a load of nerds.
Yeah,
with their Pokemon.
And Pokken's there now too. Which is sweet.
I didn't know that. Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I remember. I think Junichi Masuda was signing, as well as I think I actually don't know the other guy who was there. I'm so sorry, but they had like a signing time slot that people could go and like get stuff signed and stuff. Amazing. But I couldn't go because of the tournament, so that was kind of disappointing.
Get like a big egg signed by Masuda. Like, there you go, make this shiny.
Yeah. Teach me your method.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work for me. Oh, I suck at shiny hunting. I don't know.
It's never something that I've done much of.
I've tried.
I tried the shiny chaining in Sun and Moon, and And so I tried that once. I got my shiny Eevee, and I was just like, "Cool." that's all I'm gonna. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, it's, okay, it works. Cool."
Yeah. See, I've watched a lot of shiny hunters, but I love watching them more than I love watching myself do it. If that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
it's frustrating because I feel like you're always gonna have an end goal with those guys. Like, they're gonna get it, but I feel like I'm never gonna get it. You know.
Yeah, but they just keep trying and trying and trying.
Wow.
Have you seen? I don't know who it's by. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but the guy who did the challenge of leveling a Pokemon from level 1 to 100 on shiny Pokemon exclusively.
No.
It's insane.
I've heard about the shiny alphabet challenge, where you get like one Pokemon from each letter of the alphabet shiny.
Wow.
Like Xerneas or Xatu.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. I can't even get... I've got Chansey. Another 25 to go. Wow. Just get all the unknowns. Does that count?
Somehow I think... You know what? Actually, if you get all 28 unknowns, that's a challenge in itself.
That's really solid. I watched a video about how realistic it is to get all the unknown shiny, and the chances are so low.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. We'll talk about shinies properly, like,
yeah.
I guess another,
yeah, we're getting kind of off track.
Can of worms, but
yeah.
That's because we're talking about Masuda.
Yeah.
What a dude, helping us get shinies. It doesn't happen.
Such a cool guy. He's got like pretty good charisma on camera and in like person.
You said he's got good charisma, and I was like, Fallout? Because I played Fallout 1 the other day, and I put my charisma up to max, and just sweet talked everyone, and then pickpocketed them, and then one went really bad, and I died.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well then. Yeah. So the Pokemon Center. Yeah, the press conference. The Pokemon Center's there. What else? Oh yeah, Pokemon Home. So it's like the new version of Pokemon Bank.
Yeah. I didn't actually use Pokemon Bank. I found it like it was quite pricey, but for like what it was is almost like there's no price to put on protecting your Pokemon. But I think I just wasn't able to get it because of like the cost or something at the time.
Well, I think they had like a 3-month free trial, which you could take at any point so that you could transfer stuff from like XY up to Sun and Moon, I think it was, or maybe it was Black and White to
I think it was
XY.
Black and White, yeah.
And then I guess it also worked with Sun and Moon at the same time. But now it's going to be Pokemon Home, which connects to Pokemon Bank, but not back and forth. You can only go
you can only go forward to Home.
Yeah, so any of the Gen 7 and earlier stuff, including Bank, you can go from them to Pokemon Home, but you can only go back and forth with Sword and Shield when that comes out.
Right, okay.
But it's really cool because it's going to be on mobile, so you can like see what Pokemon you've got.
Like, look at this.
And it connects to Pokemon Go as well, so that's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I guess it's almost... I get a vibe from it from like how... In Let's Go, you don't have like boxes and stuff anymore. Your stuff is just there, readily available.
Well, you have one box basically.
Yeah, and it's always with you, and it's like you don't have to go swap things out. I feel like that's almost what they were trying to achieve in game. Like you can just access your Pokemon anywhere.
Yeah, there's cool. Some innovations from Let's Go that I really hope like continue on.
Yes.
Like that, like having your PC available like at any time.
It makes so much sense. It's like. It's like, why would you go all that way to say it was 2 a.m. and you're like, well, I need my Jigglypuff for something, and you have to walk all the way to a centre, switch on a PC, download your Pokemon, put another one up. It just doesn't make sense, does it? Really?
No.
It makes more sense to have like a little thing that you would carry with you. Yeah. With like Pokemon Bank on
I really hope that makes it into Sword and Shield somehow.
Yeah.
But I think we'll save talking about that sort of thing for next week.
End. Well, we'll do our what we want to see in predictions.
Yeah, okay.
Because the Direct's tomorrow.
Yes.
Is tomorrow? Was it Thursday?
Yeah, it's tomorrow. I think 1:30 for us.
AM.
No, PM.
Oh no!
I think anyway.
I don't think my boss would let me like spend an hour Or is it 15 minutes?
It's only 15 minutes. Just do it on your lunch.
Oh yeah, I'll go on my lunch. Yes, nice. Okay, that's sorted for tomorrow. I was upset then, and then I wasn't.
Yeah, so Pokemon Home, that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, they announced a sequel to Detective Pikachu, which is going to be on the Switch. So that's cool. I've not actually played the Detective Pikachu game.
The movie was so good.
Yeah,
I really loved it.
I know it. Like over time, it's probably not going to age as well.
No,
but just to see Pokemon like real Pokemon.
Yeah.
It was so good. Like it was a pretty good story. Like there were some plot holes, but I don't care. I just don't care.
No one goes to a Pokemon movie for the plot. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I sat down and knowing that I was seeing a Pokemon movie in the cinema, I was like 11 years old again.
I know.
It's like seeing Pokemon the first movie, and it was just so surreal because like even the fact that they still give out cards, which Odeon did not give me. Odeon didn't give me the cards, so I don't have the cards.
When did you see it at Odeon?
Like the day of release.
Because when we went to the Odeon, it must have been like a couple of days after when you went. When we went, we got given cards.
We were told that it wasn't happening at Odeon, so we didn't ask.
Oh well, I asked. I asked.
I'm gonna go back. We'll just go watch it again. We've got the Limitless card.
Yeah.
Like, can I have the card?
So we came out of the film. Like they didn't give us the cards when we got our tickets, and I was just like, I swear we were supposed to get like cards. So I went up to the concession stand, like where they do the tickets and food and stuff, and I was just like, are we supposed to get cards with like the Pokemon movie tickets? And they were like, oh, here you go. How many packs do you want?
Oh my god.
And I was a good boy. I said 3 packs because we had three people in our group. So.
Hopefully.
I heard that some people, some like cinemas were basically like putting like the boxes of the packs out.
No.
And obviously like
handfuls.
Yeah, people were taking like handfuls or like entire boxes.
I remember getting it. That was my first Pokemon card, the Dragonite.
Yeah.
From the movie, because I was late into cards. I was really, really, really into the sticker book that I have got completed somewhere. It's at my nana's probably. The sticker book, which was made by like Merlin Panini or whatever. I went through this with you. I'm like, what? Panini?
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Yeah, in England we had this like sticker book, and you'd go and get like 40p packs of stickers. You get like 10, and I completed it. Oh, that was like the highlight of my childhood, honestly.
Yeah, so I didn't get any cards when I went to see the first Pokemon movie because I was friends with a kid at my school whose mum worked for Hasbro, and at the time Hasbro made all the toys for Pokemon, and they were having like a pre-screening of the film for the employees.
Oh yeah, you told me this.
So
but you didn't get the card.
Yeah, so my friend he said, oh, do you want to come and see the Pokemon movie? Like this, we were 9, 10 or whatever when it came out, and I was just like, yes, but because it was
like immortal.
Yeah. But because it was a pre-screening, they didn't have the cards yet, so I never got the promo card for going to the film.
I don't have my original Dragonite because my cousin tricked me and traded it for a really common Pikachu. And Pikachu used to be my favourite. It was my first favourite Pokemon, Pikachu was. And he tricked me into trading away both my Dragonites for like that Pikachu. Damn Pikachu. And then I rebought the card when I was an adult.
Nice.
So I have one now, but where mine is, I'll never know.
Oh.
Rip.
Okay, well, we should probably get back on topic again. Welcome to the MetaPodcast, where we go off on tangents. And
we're just so excited about Pokemon, guys.
Yeah, we really are.
We both turned 30 this year. Does that...
Oh, God, don't talk to me about that. So, Pokemon Sleep. That's...
Yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, it reminds me of... it's nothing to do with it, but it reminds me of the... Oh, God, what was it called in black and white? The Dream World.
Dream World, yeah.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah. Even though they haven't told us like anything about what Pokemon Sleep is, like, but people have kind of speculated that it sort of tracks your sleeping pattern or something.
Because on Apple you can record like how long you're asleep for, so it realizes like when you wake up, if you check your phone, then it knows that you're awake.
Yeah.
So it's gonna just go off something rudimentary like that, unless you wear like I think people can wear Fitbits, and it tells them from like their heart rate whether they're asleep. I don't know. It's gonna be something like that.
I mean, it's they kind of made it out to be this kind of like health and lifestyle game.
I think that's what they tried to do with Pokemon Go.
Well,
like, get them outside.
Yeah, and it worked. Like
it does.
Like everyone's out doing community days, and well, the hardcore players are out every day.
Yeah,
not us,
Laura,
because it's raining.
Ooh. Yeah. Gross.
But yeah, so I'm thinking maybe this like tries to get you on like a sleep schedule almost, like a healthy sleep schedule, because God knows we all need it.
I know, and I think especially going off on a serious tangent but related, there's obviously a lot of health scares in places like Japan where they are overworked massively, and people fall asleep at their desks, and then they'll feel pressured to sleep at work.
Yeah,
and
there's also cases of like salarymen falling asleep like on the way home, like like just on like in the street.
Yeah,
like they'll go to like. They'll work till like God knows how late in the evening. Like they'll grab a bite to eat, and they'll be so tired they'll just like fall asleep and not even get home. Like
it's crazy. It's really bad. So obviously it to me it kind of reflects a little bit on how Japanese society maybe it has a very unhealthy sleep schedule.
Getting political on
the
first episode.
But I think it's not just in Japan though. I think pressure's on people nowadays to like spend as much time awake as possible and get as much done in your day as you can and make the most of it. And I think it has affected a lot of people's sleep. Yeah. So when you go to sleep, your Pokemon get buff, and that's like a really good reason to go to sleep.
Yeah. So they've come out with a new like peripheral device as well.
Yeah,
like,
the Plus Plus.
Yeah, the Pokemon Go Plus Plus, which means the Pokemon Go Plus One if you're into coding.
Oh, wow. That is like quite a nerdy joke.
So it's like a disc with a button on it, basically. That's what it looks like anyway.
Yeah, I haven't seen a picture of it actually. It's the Pokewalker with no screen. I knew it would look like that.
Yeah, well, it's basically like the Pokeball Plus, which someo's flattened.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have a joystick on it.
Someone clearly ran one over in the street and they're like, that's a good idea. It fits in your pocket. But I don't know, I like the Pokeball Plus because it feels like you're walking around with a Pokeball, as sad as that sounds.
And so because it's called the Pokemon Go Plus, so you can obviously use it with Pokemon Go. Yeah. Maybe you could use it with the Switch as well. I'm not sure.
Hopefully,
it doesn't have a joystick on it though, so probably not.
It might. See, I just want them to bring back the Pokewalker. Just put a screen in. Come on. Like, that was so good. Like, I don't think I'll ever be...
To be fair, Pokemon Go is like a massive Pokewalker.
I know, but there was something so really fun about... Like, so me and my friend Amy at uni, we would use our Pokewalkers all the time, and because we were sat next to each other at uni, they would constantly interact. So I'd go on walks with like my Lugia, and she'd have a Quagsire who was named Gloria, and
cute.
They would have fun, and we'd get little messages saying they went and played today. Oh. And when you put it back on your DS, it give you messages, and then they put events on it. Like I've still got the Pikachu Forest event on it.
Oh, cool!
So you can catch like.
I don't think I ever got that far with it.
Didn't you? Oh, I was well into the Pokewalker. But mine are both dead. I've got two, and they're both flat. And I've tried to get in one of them, but I threaded the screw, so I can't get the battery out. And I'm like, this is the worst day of my life. They're
worth a lot still.
I know.
Pokewalkers.
Which is why I was like, I just want another one. But then I look on eBay and I'm like, oh, no. Very expensive. But I mean, I think I'm just biased. I think I'll always love that more than. I mean, yeah. I just felt more interactive. But I mean, this looks good. Like obviously, it's more just the Pokeball Plus, but flat.
Yeah. So it's definitely going to work with Go. Might work with Switch, probably not because it doesn't have a joystick. Yeah. Unless it's got like a touch sort of like pad, kind of like what's on the back of the PlayStation 4 controller.
You mean on the top?
Yeah. No, I'm thinking
on the back of the Vita.
The back of the Vita. That's right. and so maybe
Something
that
like
could work
haptic or
as like a
something.
joystick. I don't know. But then it obviously works with Pokemon Sleep. How? Who knows? Because we don't know anything about the game.
Maybe
so...
you have to like connect it to your like heart and then
Well,
just like stick it on your chest while you're sleeping.
in the trailer,
That's why it's flat.
the lady
It doesn't
had
roll.
it like on her bed, like sort of at the top of her bed, like on the corner of the mattress, like near where your pillows are. But like, I don't know how. I really don't know how you're supposed to use it, but
Well, it's Nintendo magic. It'll
Yeah,
work somehow.
exactly.
Be like, wow, that's so cool. Like that kid that goes like, wow. You know, you should insert that sound effect. You know which one? It's like, wow. You know.
I'm thinking of one, but I don't think I'm thinking of the sound effect from the Fairy Tale anime that gets used over and over. So you don't know that one.
It might be the same one.
Where it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it sounds like something amazing's happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's from. It just sounds like a kid going, wow.
We're going to have to compare our wows
Yes.
after this.
There will be some wows in there, hopefully. Yeah.
Okay, so that's really all we can say about Pokemon Sleep. But
Yeah.
this is the one that I'm most excited about that they announced, which is Pokemon Masters. Which looks like it's going to be like a gacha game where you collect
Like
legendary
Fire Emblem.
trainers. Yeah, Fire Emblem Heroes and like Dragalia
Dragalia
Lost.
Lost.
Yeah,
It's Dragalia Lost reskinned, isn't it?
just with Pokemon. But I mean, there may be like PvP in it because you can collect your trainers and then the trainers have a Pokemon associated with them and then you can battle. It looks like you get
It's
3 on 3.
and 3,
Yeah.
which is interesting. Which instantly I was like, Dissidia? But obviously it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm really excited because I get to collect all of my Pokemon waifus.
Yeah, no.
Get my Cynthia,
Oh,
Candice,
yes.
Mallow.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
I like Jasmine.
They're all good girls.
Also the husbandos.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like we've got to get
Green.
Stephen Green. Green is a girl in the English. It's blue. Blue is the boy. Green is.
Isn't green and green though?
Sorry, what?
I always thought it was green and green.
Okay, so
In Pokemon Green, what's he called? Blue.
Yeah. In Pokemon Green, which we never got in the West,
Yeah.
he's green.
Yeah.
And you're yeah. So like the protag's official name is Red. Like we all know that.
Yeah, red's red.
So because Japan, they got Pokemon Red and Green at the same time. Yes. So the antagonist is green, the rival is green, and then the ancillary female character that we never got is called Blue in Japan. But because in the West we got Red and Blue together, the rival's Blue and the girl is green.
Right. Yeah, because it's called Blue in Silver and...
Yeah, in Gold and Silver and its remakes, he's called Blue.
So why do I call him Green? Why do I just want to default to Green? Have I been on the internet too long? Like
probably
Japanese internet too long?
Because in the Adventures manga, if you read the translated version of that, like the unofficial translation, he's green, but in the Viz media and whatever, he's blue.
Because I read the manga, that might be why, because I've never read the published mangas in English. Yeah. I read them when I was younger, like scanlations.
Yes.
And so maybe that's why. And I remember the only thing that really sticks out to me from the manga is you could see the Pokemon inside the Pokeball.
Yeah, I always thought that was really cool.
Bring that in the games. It's so cute. And there's a little Bulbasaur. Yeah,
and they when they throw the Pokeball, it opens like a gacha pod.
Yeah.
Rather than the Pokeballs that we know, like in the anime and stuff, like it opens with like a poof, and like the two halves separate, which is how Pokeballs used to work in the games in Gen 1 and 2. Remember when you threw a Pokeball and it would like pop open?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because that's what it was based on. It was like Gatchamon, basically.
Do you think that was already taken?
Probably.
Like, great, now we've got
or like they couldn't use the name Gacha.
Gacha, yeah. Isn't that like an actual... It is a trademark term, isn't it, Gacha?
Yeah.
Probably like a Bandai one.
Must be, yeah.
I was going to say something else about the manga, but I've forgotten now. Damn it.
Well, anyway, Pokemon Masters.
Yes, Masters.
Yeah. So Green is the girl, which I want one of her too.
Right. Yeah.
because she's really cute. Because she's in Let's Go. Have you got that far in Let's Go?
I don't think so, no. Because Smash Brothers came out, you see. And then,
of course, yeah.
And then, what came out after? Persona 5 Dancing. And that is what I'm still playing. I've platinumed it, and I'm still playing it. So I need to go back to Smash and then back to Let's Go.
Well, so Green's... She actually makes her first like official appearance in a game in Let's Go.
Cute spoilers. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's also just gotten her first ever card in the TCG.
Really?
Green's Exploration. It's a good card too.
So Blue's coming in it though, as a husbando.
Yeah.
Green, blue. Turquoise, we'll call him that.
Turquoise. Yeah, Blue's gonna be in it. Lance, Stevie Stephen
What
Stone.
A good rock boy.
Yeah. He loves the minerals.
To be fair, my favourites are Red and Cynthia.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just basic like that. And Jasmine. Jasmine's my other favourite. But Steel type's like one of my favourite types. So I'm just biased for that. And she's so sweet.
Yeah.
But Cynthia. We're like joined on our Cynthia love. We're like...
Oh yeah, Cynthia's like top
waifu.
Top 1% of everything ever.
She is the Rattata to our Joey.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's a very good way to put it. She's the strongest champion, hands down.
And the best.
Don't argue with me about it.
if you would like to argue, please hit the subscribe button to unsubscribe. We don't have that horrible sort of discourse. If you don't like Cynthia, you can leave.
But please don't. We have a lot more to talk about, and we need people to listen.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, looking like a gacha game where you can collect waifus and husbandos, and they also have Pokemon. So
Pokebandos. No.
No. But so here's what I'm thinking, because they're going to run out of like characters eventually, right? But if they don't have like a set Pokemon, like if they have like a group of Pokemon that they could come with, so you could get like a Cynthia with a Garchomp, but you could also get a Cynthia with a Spiritomb or Togekiss, any of those, and that would stretch it a lot farther.
Yeah. So like each character, because that would make it so much bigger, like for lack of a better term, because then there'd be like 6 variations of Cynthia. Yeah,
at least.
Yeah, because I mean she's got obviously more Pokemon than that. Then she just has 6 and that's it. If she gets 7, she's got to chuck one away.
Yeah, it's got to go in the PC. That's how it works.
But not in the handy PC from Let's Go.
Right.
Into Pokemon. What was it called? Not Bank. The new one.
Home.
Home. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Be interesting. There's also
there's original characters.
Yeah, I was going to say there's OCs.
Yeah.
So
like the pro tags of Pokemon Masters.
So maybe that's you.
I'm guessing that's like your avatar character, sure. But also like the pro tags from all the like older games are in it. And also they've got voice lines.
Yes.
The characters have voice lines, which is amazing.
Well, except for Red, obviously. Red's not going to talk.
Yeah, he'll have a blank audio file.
If Red talks, the internet is going to break.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? Blank audio file, ...
Can't wait to get told to smell him later.
Smell.
Blue.
Smell you later.
But yeah, so that's cool. So that might mean that like every trainer is going to have like a unique voice, and does that set a precedent for Sword and Shield voice acting in a Pokemon game? Maybe that's something. I don't know.
I mean, it happened to Zelda.
It did happen to Zelda.
Do we talk about how much I don't know. Voice acting in Zelda still makes me uncomfortable. I
mean, at least Link is still the silent protagonist.
I like it when the secondary character speaks, like Midna. Midna was amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I feel about fully voice acted cutscenes. I still don't know.
I think so. Breath of the Wild, I think, like some like most of the cutscenes in that were fine because they were like flashbacks.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like happening in real time. Like they were talking like at you. It was more of a memory of like them saying stuff. Yeah. So I think that was fine because I think like being Link and being talked at like with voice lines is just
It's just the same as before. Like,
Yeah.
you just get talked at anyway.
However, I want Cynthia to
Cynthia
talk to me.
You're gonna get Pokemon Masters. You're gonna go on like some Reddit forum and ask for all the OG files of Cynthia's voices, so you can just store them in your Cynthia folder. Calling you out, or am I calling myself?
I'm not ashamed. So they've also got like the trainer classes as well, like the ace trainers, and I'm guessing like all of those. So there's going to be a ton of like probably like 1 and 2 star characters that like get filled up by those kind of guys.
I want Joey.
Oh yeah,
Rattata Joey.
Yeah,
Youngster Joey.
Youngster Joey
Short
as like
Sky.
a named character.
Yeah, Short Sky. Bring back. What's his name? Youngster.
The guy with the shorts.
He has a name.
He didn't in the original games. He was just Youngster.
Really?
Yeah, because in Red and Blue, Gen 1, like, only the leaders and the Elite Four and Champion and that had proper names.
Really
They were all just, like, referred to as their trainer class.
God.
Like, Cool Trainer wants to fight. Also, Cool Trainer turned into Ace Trainer eventually.
But yeah, like, bring back Short Sky. This is what we want for Pokemon Masters. So anyone at Nintendo listening, Short Sky and Joey. That's all we need. And Cynthia. Just those 3. It'd be kind of cool if they did put little references in like that, though. Didn't they change the line for Short Sky in Let's Go?
Did they?
I don't think it was exact. And I think it made me unhappy.
Okay.
Poor Short Sky.
I don't think I noticed that.
Didn't you?
Well,
I'm going to have to have a look.
Yeah, I guess
Someone
so.
will be talking about it on the internet. That's not me.
And there'll be like a massive like fan
Discourse.
theory and discourse behind it. Yeah, exactly.
Is
this foreshadowing like a shorts Pokemon in Sword and Shield?
Oh god. Well, to be honest, like in Sun and Moon or X and Y? Could have been X and Y. One of them heavily referenced a lot of stuff to do with Sinnoh, and it really upset me. I think X and Y referenced a lot of Gen 3. And that's why people were like, remake.
Yes.
And get on it. I want a Sinnoh remake.
I think...
I'm sure there's a fair few Sinnoh references in Sun and Moon.
I think there is, but they can also just be like, you know, coincidences and like...
But I
not
have
sort
hope.
of... Yeah, I mean, we all... Well, maybe not all of us, because I know that like Gen 4 is like heavily contested.
It is.
Like,
it sucked, but it was the best. So just
it really sucked in the beginning, but then it ended so strong.
I know.
Like Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Platinum were like really, really good.
They're just my
like,
favourite games.
Diamond and Pearl were like awful.
I know. I put like 600 hours into Diamond, and then my cartridge was stolen, and I will never forgive them. But like Diamond, it was so broken and so bad and so slow.
Yeah.
The intro, like when Pokemon, you can't see me doing this, but it's like the intros when Pokemon or trainers came on, it was like this. It was like really slow, and it took forever. Like trying to shiny hunt or grind or anything on that game just took 3 times as long.
Yeah. Did they fix that in Platinum? And
Platinum was a bit faster.
Yeah.
But then Platinum added in, I believe it was Platinum, so when you saved, depending on how much you've done in the game, there was like a long save and a short save.
Oh yeah.
And the long save took forever, and I was like, what is going on?
I mean, I didn't mind that. Like, if there's a lot to save, then sure, fine.
But it was really funny, like seeing what class is like a short save, because the short save was like really fast. I think it was only if you just messing about in the menus. If you went into a different area, then it was a long save or something like that.
Yeah.
It didn't take much. But yeah, it was a lot better than Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, they fixed the pacing, they expanded the Pokédex, and there was just more to do.
Distortion World.
Battle Frontier. Yeah. Platinum's great.
Box? Remember when they did the nice boxes that were holographic?
Yes.
It was Platinum.
Heart Gold and Soul Silver was the last holographic box, I think.
I remember the nice cardboard box from Heart Gold Soul Silver. I've got like the Pokewalker boxes, and they're like textured and metallic. Oh, so nice. Yeah,
because I think from then on, unless there was like some special editions that I don't know about.
They did like steelbooks, I think, after. Black and White never got
Yeah,
much.
I think they were just in like the regular DS cases.
Yeah. Unless Black 2, White 2. Did that have a nice case?
Not that I remember.
Yeah. X and Y. Steelbooks came in for Omega and Alpha, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, because I have some.
Yeah. And then Sun and Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Yeah.
You've got the joint one, haven't you? The gold one.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah, the one
got the
you can put
separate
both in if you wanted to.
It's really cool. But...
So yeah, so Pokemon Masters, I'm like I don't want to get into like another gacha game, but I really want to get into this game.
I mean, I dropped Dragalia Lost. Unfortunately,
so did I.
I didn't understand it, to be honest. Like everyone around us in Japan was like on Dragalia Lost, and I was like, I don't understand, but I'm just going to press buttons.
Yeah, I was just like, how do I beat people at this game? Like I don't do well at like single player like versus CPU campaigns.
I don't mind so much.
I mean,
but I just don't do well with mobile stuff.
Like there's some games that do it well, but like I want to be able to like be the best at a game.
Like
you
no
know
one
what I mean?
ever was.
Yeah. like Pokemon, you got the single player campaign, but then you've also got like PvP after that. So
I mean, Pokemon's a very competitive game in general. Obviously, that is its entire core is beating up other people for their money.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's really good.
I hope the gacha elements aren't like super heavy. Like I don't want to.
It depends. Well, maybe we should have a go. Have you had a go at Fire Emblem Heroes? Because I haven't.
No.
I might give it
I'm
a
not,
go.
Like super interested in Fire Emblem.
Oh, I love it. I just suck at it. I've never been able to complete one, mostly because I didn't complete Awakening for whatever reason. And the other ones I'd played before that have the like you die, you stay dead mechanism, and I rage quit because my favourite died, and the fight was so hard that I couldn't save him no matter what. So if it had been a cartridge, I'd have probably snapped it in half. I was so angry. But it was not. It was Virtual Console, I think, from the Ambassador, the 3DS Ambassador, and they gave you like loads of free games, and it was one of those, and I played that, and now I got mad. But I might give Fire Emblem Heroes a go and see if that...
Just to get your feet wet
see how
on
gacha it is. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on how much you care about like the things you get off the gacha. Like if you really want that like 5-star like hero or whatever.
Yeah. And I'm like, woo! I don't know what's going on. That was me and Dragalia last. I was like, everyone around me was like, whoa, you got that one. I'm like, yes, I got that one.
Yeah.
It was mad. But it was a cute game.
It was cute.
But I just didn't grasp it.
It was one of for me, it was just one of those like time sink games.
Yeah. And I was too busy
I always
enjoying everything around me. In Japan to rest.
Yeah, exactly. And I like if I'm gonna be sinking time into a game, I'd
rather be on a console. I think.
Yeah, or like I mean, I'm pretty like far into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links as well. Like, and that's kind of gacha, kind of.
Yeah.
Because
it's a collectible element.
Yeah, let's see, you get the cards, and obviously you've got to like spend your in-game currency and or your mum's credit card to get like
to
the
get
best
Fortnite.
Yeah.
You gotta get them sick dances on Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, you got to have Kaiba doing the default dance.
I would pay for that. I would steal my mum's credit card for that.
But yeah, what they do in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links is like they have like kind of like a virtual card box which has so many packs in it, and it also shows you like the guaranteed ratios. Like there's one of this card in the box, and at like ultra rare level, like there's two of this like card. So eventually, if you buy all the packs in the box, you get like that. Like the set, so like I think it's like 9 copies of every common card in a box. 6 copies of like rare, 2 super rare, and 1 copy of every ultra rare in every box. So if you buy the entire box, you get like all of those cards, like guaranteed. You get exactly that. So I like that over like the traditional gacha method of like mobile games where like you just sort of like fling your gems into the void and like cross your fingers and like you could just never get the character that you want.
It was Rainbow Beans, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what they were called.
Like
Wormite.
Yeah, that was
is
it.
it? I called them rainbow
they
beans.
had like what did they call it on Hearthstone? They called it the I actually don't remember. Like, it was like a fan term to say like, oh, you haven't pulled like a legendary card in ages. So like
Here's
after after I think it was like after 40 packs, you were guaranteed a legendary in the next pack. Like, you
I
still
wish
have.
Overwatch would do that. Oh my god.
Don't they have something similar?
Maybe,
or?
but I don't know whether it's
Like over
explicit.
time, like your chances of pulling a legendary were higher and higher,
okay.
and then at 40 packs, you definitely got it on that 40th pack. But it also didn't like if you bought like 2 packs after that, you could still get a legendary. It'd be a very low chance, but like, and I think Dragalia did the same thing. Like,
I was very lucky on Dragalia, apparently.
Yeah, if you did so many summons on Dragalia, like your chances of getting a 5-star hero were increased like every time you didn't get one.
Yeah.
So there was that.
I think companies do have to be careful because they do have a child audience.
Yeah.
And when you cross that sort of morality area from like advertising to children and expecting children to put money in, I think it's difficult because they've got to make sure that kid is not going to like because the parents might not necessarily understand. So you see it a lot with Fortnite.
Yeah.
These kids will put so much money in, and even though that's not like a random thing, like they get what they want, I guess, with Fortnite, I think companies do have to be very careful that people won't create backlash. Yes. Because
a lot of the laws are changing.
It's gambling.
Yeah.
And that is in itself very difficult to market to children because obviously children are not allowed to gamble. And I think you see a lot, like what I liked with Shuffle, they give you so much on Shuffle.
Oh yeah.
You just don't have to pay for anything. And I think I've got like maxed out coins from doing nothing. So like, here, you haven't played me for a while, here's like 10,000 coins. I'm like, thank you. And it does give you daily limits, and something about Japanese law on like purchasing, you have an exact amount that you can buy before they stop you altogether.
Oh yeah, I think
and same with Magikarp Jump.
Yeah,
you
I remember seeing it
can't
on that.
spend more money than whatever. But obviously they're not randomised. You buy gems to then purchase a thing. Yes. So I think with the gambling thing, they're going to have to be careful. But like I said, I'll look at Fire Emblem Heroes, and Dragalia lost his Nintendo as well. So I think there's a fine line between like where you've got to make sure you're getting enough out of it.
Yeah. And also the thing is, like, if there's also like PvP, like you're gonna want to get like the best characters as well, like to be top of the leaderboard or whatever.
We don't want it to be pay to win.
Yes,
that's a big thing because we know there's games out there that are pay to win. Like Magic, for one, apparently is very pay to win.
Magic Arena.
No, The Gathering.
Well, yeah, Magic.
Oh, is that
like that's
thing?
the online.
I don't know if that was like another.
I
didn't know there was an online game.
Yeah, Magic Arena is like the Hearthstone of Magic the Gathering.
Okay. I mean, I meant the cards in general. Like, apparently, it's very pay to win.
In any card game, there's a certain pay to win element because you have to pay for the cards. But there's also like budget decks where like you can basically play with like no really expensive cards.
See, I honestly don't know much about Magic, but what I'd heard from other people was you need to put in so much money before you can get anywhere. If that's not true, then that's absolutely fine. But like, again, like we don't want this. For example,
I think it depends on where you go in Magic, like because there's so many different formats that you play in Magic.
Right.
I think
it seems very complex.
If you play with, I don't know the terminology for Magic like at all, but if you play like what's in like the current like rotation, then it's probably pretty cheap, like compared to like because they've got like an expanded format and then like an expanded format and then like an anything goes format where you can just play like. So I mean. Any Magic fans don't like jump on me.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't play it.
Like that's a very like oversimplified way of like talking
I mean,
about.
if you're listening and want to fill us in about Magic, whether you think you agree whether it's pay to win, like I'm going off what other people have told me. So feel free to just tell us, and like we want this to be a discussion. It's not just us rambling in a kitchen.
Yeah, but what I was saying is that there's always like budget options in PvP games. Like there's always going to be like a cheap version. Well, maybe not always, but there should always be like an affordable like strategy that you can take and do reasonably well with. Like maybe you don't like win like every single game.
I think that
and maybe like the most expensive cards are expensive because like they're the best.
Yeah.
But like there's always like budget decks in like in Pokemon. Like there's always like
you buy the pre-made decks.
Well,
for like 12 quid.
Okay, so like structure decks are a thing, but also structure decks are not like they're not built up to be like competitive. They're just like a jumping off point.
But it comes with like a rule book and stuff. So it's like dipping your toes, I guess. And you can physically play with that deck. Yeah. You just wouldn't take it.
But
to
even
a tournament.
like a fully constructed deck like Night March was a really popular, very strong budget deck because like all the
what was in that?
So that was it was a group of Pokemon that all had the Night March attack, which was it was 20 damage times the number of Pokemon with Night March in your discard pile.
Oh wow!
And so the Pokemon with Night March were Joltik, Pumpkaboo, and Lampent.
Okay, not Litwick.
Not Litwick, no, Lampent. So the aim of the deck was to just get like a bunch of those into the discard pile, and then like if you like that, so you can play 4 copies of like a Pokemon, right? Yeah. So if you threw away like 4 Lampents, 4 Pumpkaboos, and 2 Joltiks, and you had like your other 2 Joltiks as your attackers, you'd be doing 200 damage. And it was only for 2 colourless energy as well.
Wow.
So and obviously like Pumpkaboo and Joltik were commons, I believe. Like I'm pretty sure. And then Lampent was an uncommon. And the only things that you really needed was like, you know, your trainer cards, and then like the only expensive card really was like Shaymin EX to like draw you cards and that sort of thing. So it was a really like cheap and also very strong, like probably like top 3 deck.
Really?
Yeah. And so there's always stuff like that. However, in sort of mobile games where they like curate the card pool, like maybe there isn't so much. But again, I think there's always like stuff that you can do with like the less like rare cards.
I mean, there's a reason why, like, I presume normal Cynthia is just a common. Is it a common?
It's a uncommon.
Uncommon,
yes.
But like no one expects you to have as many. I don't know how many Cynthias you could have in a deck.
It's four copies of any card except for basic energy. You can have whatever.
You're not going to have 4 full art Cynthias because that's like.
Well, that's not the best example because full art Cynthia does the same thing as a normal.
No, that's
Cynthia.
what I mean. But there's always like a cheaper option. Say like, if you wanted to build a deck, there's always like what I see from Pokemon is like for example when our mate Nikki bought the Tapu Leles. Yeah. But their deck was like full of like 4, I guess. Yeah. Of the rainbow ones. Yes. Which you don't have to play. Like
they were really into the rainbow cards. Like their deck was like if there was a rainbow rare of anything, wow. they had it. Yeah. But I think the best example for Pokemon TCG currently is like the Reshiram Charizard Tag Team GX that's out right now. That's super expensive and deservedly so because it's a very good card, but also it's got Charizard on it. So it's got that price tag on it. Yeah. So if you want to play an expensive fire deck, then that's your boy. But if you also want like a budget fire deck, like there's Blacephalon non-GX, which you can basically just see. Morgan's pulling her face because she doesn't know what Blacephalon is because
in the heck?
Because she hasn't played Ultra Sun and Moon to the end. So I haven't
played Sun and Moon.
Right.
This is going to be a whole podcast episode in and of itself.
So So Blacephalon's one of the Ultra Beasts, but
I thought you said Blaziken wrong.
No.
I was like, fire type, Blaziken?
Yeah, so it's one of the Ultra Beasts, but it's one of like the new Ultra Beasts that only came in Ultra Sun and Moon. Anyway, it's like a kind of a fireworks clown looking thing. But anyway, so there's like a deck using like just 4 copies of that and like a few supporting Pokemon and then just trainers and a bunch of fire energy.
Okay.
So, and that's pretty cheap and still strong.
Because that card at Magic Madhouse, £250 for
the
Charizard Reshiram tag.
The rainbow,
Team up, tag team, yeah. Team up was the...
Team up was the set that introduced tag team.
Because I always like tag team up. I don't know that much about cards. What I do know is what I listen to, like, you guys talk about. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a pretty card. That's me. I'm like, has it got Tyranitar on it? Cool, I'll have it. You told me there's a new tag team up. Yeah. There's Tyranitar Mega Sableye coming out in probably our next set. I'm not sure. You want a Chestnut one? You take up the whole card.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was our rant on like gacha and pay to win and all that, which I'm sure we'll come back to eventually.
I mean, when Pokemon Masters comes out, we could be completely wrong, and it'd be like,
oh yeah,
it wasn't even a gacha game, and he loses by.
It looks like it's set up
good.
To be a gacha game though. Like you're collecting all the characters. Essentially,
you got to collect them all, but this time humans.
Yeah, and then maybe there's just no PvP, and it's just like a gacha to collect your favorite characters, and there's some element of like fights. I don't know, like there's a story mode or whatever.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Why are all these people in the same area at once? It's like the city of Final Fantasy. There you go. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't expect it to have like a massive PvP if it did, because like you wouldn't want it to sort of like overshadow like the mainline games or
it's going to be very
Pokken
basic
or the TCG or anything like that. Yeah. I mean, although maybe you would maybe if it's got like intricate PvP, like maybe it would be like a proper like competitive thing. Yeah.
Be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah.
So, should we talk about what we're expecting for Sword and Shield, or what we hope?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So the Direct is tomorrow. Ooh. So we're in time still to get our like opinions out there.
Will you be able to edit this tonight?
Yeah.
Good. So this should be happening on Tuesday. You should be watching this on Tuesday. Unless you're in a different time zone like Australia, and then Wednesday, hello. But yeah, God, where do I start? Well, I'm so excited for it. Yeah. That's a good start.
Yeah. So what I really hope, it's a 15-minute thing tomorrow. That's a lot of time to fill. But I really hope they don't give away too much. Yeah. When the game comes out, I don't want to know 80% of the stuff. I want the game to come out and I want to still be amazed at what's in the game. Yeah, so when the game comes out, I want to still be able to explore and find stuff and not sort of have
everything told to you.
Yeah, I don't want everything laid out before I even play the game, and I'm just kind of going on a tour, you know?
Yeah. Ooh, this is a Pokemon I saw already.
Yeah. If they reveal Pokemon, that's fine. I don't want them to reveal the whole Pokedex.
I don't want them to... I don't like it when we see final evolutions of the starters. I don't know if anyone else shares that opinion. I like the excitement. This is what happened with Diamond and Pearl. I only knew the starters. Yeah. And maybe Lucario. Not much, I don't think, was available. And so the excitement of picking Piplup, because Piplup is one of my favourite starters, and I was it's going to probably turn into maybe not flying, but I didn't expect it to be steel. Yeah. And that was so exciting to me, because I think it learned a steel move as Prinplup, and I was ooh, I like where this is going. Then it evolved into Empoleon, and I just fell in love, and it's that fresh feeling. You can't... It's spoilers, you can't take it back. Yeah. So I wouldn't like to see... We're obviously going to get them. But
yeah,
I wouldn't
don't
like
see
to see
them
the
not.
final Evos. Yeah. I like that to be a surprise, but I think we'll probably see... We might see, the rat Pokemon, the pigeon Pokemon, The rat,
bug.
the rat and the bird and the bug.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's maybe a legendary.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they'll save legendaries for E3. We don't
Maybe.
normally hear a lot at E3.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically the E3 announcement, because E3 is next week.
Oh my god, that's come around so fast.
So that's...
And no one's going.
That's
it's like...
2 weeks of content we get to talk about on here, at least, so...
Yeah, we should do like an E3, even if there's not much Pokemon.
Yeah, we'll talk about E3.
Yeah.
It's games, whatever.
It's games. That I've only just started playing about.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll
That's
have
a
like
lie.
differing opinions as well,
Yeah.
because like aside from Pokemon, we like kind of different games.
Yeah, like
the
I'm
most
so
part.
hyped for Death Stranding. I still haven't seen the 9-minute Giga trailer. But I'm into like my weird horror PlayStation stuff, aren't I? And you're into like Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know. What are you into?
I'll come back to you on that.
Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, I'm into like my dark secret mystery horror Persona as well.
Yeah. I mean, we both like Persona.
Yeah, Persona 5R is coming out. Maybe we'll see more of that.
Yeah?
Probably won't.
Well, I thought they said that more was coming out in like a month from that trailer.
They did. Oh wait, I've just missed the biggest thing. Final Fantasy 7.
Yes!
Ah!
Yeah.
That I'm excited for. Like high resolution.
We should come back to this
Yes,
next
we will.
week.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
sorry, you've said E3 now, and I'm like alert.
So next week we're going to talk about the Sun and Moon, not Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield Direct,
Yeah.
which is happening tomorrow. So next week we're going to talk about that, and then at the end of that one we'll talk about what we hope for E3.
For E3, yeah,
But
that's
right
good.
now we're talking about
What we want for Sword and Shield.
Yes.
So I don't want people. I don't know. I guess kind of we should at least deserve to see the fire type final evolution, so it's not fire, fighting rather. Like, please, for the love of God, please.
Yeah, and also like maybe it's sometimes it's good to see the final evolutions.
Make it a good decision.
Yeah, to make a good decision, but also remember, so Lauren was really like on the Litten train, like for the entire time up until Incineroar came out.
If she'd evolved Torracat.
Yeah, if they hadn't revealed Incineroar, she would have been so disappointed evolving Torracat. But because so Lauren, my wife, she really loves like cats and red stripy things, so Litten was like the perfect Pokemon. And Torracat looks like one of our cats, like as well. So it was uncanny. Like obviously it's not red, but like the kind of expressions it had. Yeah, the face.
Yeah, he just looks like a Torracat. He's perfect.
So she was really hyped for that. However, Incineroar was like the opposite of what she wanted. Like she didn't want like a man cat as like
cat.
She wanted like a majestic like tiger, like flaming tiger thing, rather than like a wrestler cat guy. So,
which was obviously going to be firefighting, and then the internet kicked off, and they're like, did we say dark? Dark type?
Yeah.
I'm on Team Nintendo. I'm sorry.
So
not...
there's speculation that Score Bunny's final evolution is like
Footballer.
fire. Well, yeah, it might be like
Footballer
footballer, like because it's got the feet.
Yeah. Also, have you seen that the face is the same as Chespin's?
It is. That's why I like it so much.
Yeah, like when I was looking up reference of Chespin to draw a logo, someone was like, "This is the same face." I was like, "Oh, it's Elsa and Anna."
That's literally like when the starters for Sword and Shield came out. I was just like, I
Chespin
can't put a finger on it. But I really like Score Bunny. But yeah, so
that might be why I like him as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I like them all.
Yes.
But
they're all really good.
I want to like Grookey more, but I don't like monkeys, do I?
No,
they
you don't.
They freak me out. It's like one of my biggest fears is monkeys for whatever reason. I was like, no, because I am like a solid grass starter type. I've chose water once, which was Piplup, but everything else has been grass. I love grass type starters.
See, I almost never choose fire.
No,
but,
exactly.
But Score Bunny is he's right there for me.
Yeah. He's like, it'd be Score Bunny, Sobble, Grookey at this point.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
Like Sobble's adorable.
Normally it's the other way round. It's like grass, water, fire.
Yeah.
Like I've never picked a fire starter other than like in replays where I'm like, oh, maybe I'll pick something different. But as a first pick in each game, I've never picked a fire.
We should. on another episode, we should rank our starters in every generation.
Like that YouTuber tier list, like S to F.
Yes. I'm sure someone's done that as well.
Incineroar.
For the starters. F Incineroar. Oh no. F in the chat for Incineroar.
This is why we should do it on Twitch.
Yeah.
Get some Fs in the chat for Incineroar.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to Score Bunny, there's the speculation about it being based on football or soccer player.
Soccer bunny.
Yeah. But also, there's speculation that the final evolution is fire and electric because it's got yellow in its color scheme, and that would be the first of its kind as well. Well, besides Rotom Heat.
That would be cool though. Fire electric. Electric's one of my favorite types, and I would love that. Has there been a joint electric starter? There hasn't, has there?
No, electric's never appeared in a starter other than Pikachu, obviously.
Oh yeah. Well,
/ Jolteon.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't, as in the three elemental type ones. No,
it's never appeared as a secondary type in one of those.
That'd be really interesting. Even to be fair, if Grookey ended up being grass electric, which I don't know how that would be work, cool too. That would be so cool. I would pick him over Skull Bunny just for the type.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that'd be so cool.
Do you think there's going to be a new type?
I don't think so. I think that it's pretty balanced now.
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know if Fairy needs nerfing.
It could do with a little bit.
You think?
A little bit.
See, when we were at MCM London 2 weeks ago, someone said that Fire should be super effective against Fairy.
But I think that makes Fire too.
Yeah. I think that does make Fire too good. I don't know.
I guess that's why they made it resistant but not super effective.
Yeah. So Fire is a really good defensive type now because it resists Fairy.
When Fairy came out, it was just so powerful because all of a sudden Dragon had this massive pink weakness.
Yeah. And also dark as well.
Yeah.
That I think it they had to do it to balance Dragon, but also dark really took a hit.
Yeah.
Being weak to Fairy. And also fighting.
Rip. I think what it really helped was, I think secondary Dragon type, that was really good, but the main thing that Fairy really helped out was Poison.
Yeah,
Poison was so
exactly
weak.
Poison was almost a completely useless type. Unless you were unless the Pokemon was a Poison type, there was almost no reason to use a Poison attacking move because other stuff just did what Poison did better. But now Poison actually has something to do. And Poison attackers are
finally Crobat cross Poison. Yes.
Yeah, you see lots more Poison attacking moves.
Cross Poison?
Yeah, cross Poison.
I was am I getting it confused with Cross Chop?
Well,
which is also a good move.
Yeah, and also X Scissor, which all use the same animation.
Cross, because it's 90, isn't it?
90. I think it might be 80.
I thought it was 90,
I'm pretty
90.
I mean, they changed the base power of moves, so we both might be right.
Yeah. Or wrong.
Or wrong, yeah.
I bet it's 120, accuracy 30. Oh, really? Currently in Sun and Moon. Yeah, because I love having a Crobat in my team.
Yeah.
One of my favourites, and I just use him as a flying type. No, there's no point into having him as a poison type.
Yeah.
What point was there? There was nothing. And it's difficult as well because I think Crobat was kind of, we'll talk about this, quite an unbalanced Pokemon. It's like the Flareon balance. Isn't it strongest stat attack?
Yes.
And it has no fizz moves, or it didn't.
Yeah, for the longest time it didn't have a strong physical fire move because there weren't any really other than Flare Blitz.
Flame Wheel?
There was Flame Wheel, but that's not very strong.
No,
that's kind of a middle.
It's a 50, isn't it?
I think it's 60, 65 around there.
Yeah, it's not very good.
So the physical fire moves, there was Fire Punch, which obviously it hasn't got fists, so I can't use that.
Although saying
Blaze
that,
Kick.
Wooper can use Ice Punch, so we're just putting that out there. Wooper.
Yeah. I mean, it
has a tail, but so does Flareon. Flareon could get up and slap.
Its tail is all fur though.
Yeah. I guess. It just suffocates with fire.
Yeah. So, like, there's obviously so Fire Punch, like Blaze Kick. Like, they could have given it Blaze Kick. Like, it's got feet.
It's got 4 of them?
Yeah, exactly. And then, like, the big one was Flare Blitz, which they just didn't... They refused to give it Flare Blitz for the longest time. But even now that it has it, it's still not great because it like
it's
all the other stuff
it's
it's got...
one of the weakest of the Eons.
Yeah. Because of all the other stuff it's got going.
True.
Yeah, Sylveon's like the queen.
Yeah, like this
evolution.
is why I think Fairy... I don't know what example or how I would fix it, but I think Fairy as it stands is like for example, the Sylveon was just a beast.
Yeah.
And it still is a beast to this day. And it's like... But speaking of that, we'll go from that tangent in. Rather than talking about a new type, what about a new Eevee?
I could see that happening.
New Eevee, please give us one.
I could go either way on it, I think. Yeah. It would be cool, like... But I also wouldn't lose sleep over not having a new one.
Yeah, definitely. Whenever someone brings up the concept of a new Eevee, I always think of a piece of art I saw in DeviantArt back in the day, and it was called Orion. But when you read it, it said Oreo. So they drew Orion as like a rock type.
Yeah.
And then they also drew it as an Oreo biscuit. And that was really cool. And that's whenever I think of like a new Eevee, I'm like, please make Orion biscuit.
So like the one thing that the evolutions seem to have done is like all the evolution types are of types that used to be exclusively special before they like split. Like
I guess
Gen
excluding
4.
Fairy.
Well, yeah, because Fairy didn't exist. However,
yeah.
if it did exist back then, I'm sure it would have been like a special type.
Was Dark type special?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It was, yeah.
So, like, Fire, Water, Electric were all special back in, like, Gen 1 to 3.
And then Grass and Ice.
Grass and Ice were also special. And Dark and Psychic were also special. And Fairy probably would have been.
Yeah, it's not physical, like, getting beaten up by a fairy.
So, if you're going by that sort of precedent, if you're allowing
what's left?
Dragon is the only other special type.
That would be such a cute Pokemon.
It would.
You just know it. Oh, little wings.
Yeah,
that'd be so cute. But is that the only one left?
That's the only special typing that an evolution hasn't covered.
I mean, Dragon would be so obvious though. I'd love to see like Ground.
Yeah, even Poison. Because I was telling you this a couple of weeks ago, wasn't I? Umbreon, they mined, what was it, the Space World beta, and Umbreon was originally going to be a poison type, which is why it's got the rings on it like a snake. And
I never really knew what they were for. I was like, that's a cool Pokemon.
Well, they made it work because the rings like light up, so it's like illuminating in the dark. So they sort of took that design and like repurposed it. Yeah. But also
Incineroar.
In some of its early Pokédex entries, it says it secretes poisonous like sweat.
Oh.
So
that's not very nice.
So I would say like Poison or Dragon, if there's going to be one, I think that's the two most likely because they were going to do a Poison one.
Or they could just do whatever they want and bring out a physical.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Orion.
Or,
I love rock type though.
Or they could do like
would be so cool.
They could do like a normal type one where it's just like a big
Eevee. That'd be so disappointing. I'm like, big Eevee.
Yeah. But
what would it be called? Evian. Oh. I would like to see more from. I think. Actually, to be honest, I haven't. Obviously, my background at the moment, like I said, we'll talk about this. I've kind of disconnected with Pokemon, haven't I? And I'm reconnecting with it now.
Yeah.
And so, but I always felt Normal got proper shafted. And for the Americans out there, it was very unfair on Normal. Proper shafted. At least give them stab.
Well, they get stab.
Did they get stabbed?
Yeah, they get stabbed.
I thought they didn't.
See, I think you and I must have seen this in the same place because the longest time I didn't think Normal got stabbed either. But I think it was like the Prima Gold and Silver guide.
It was.
Yeah, it said it in there that normal types don't get stab bonus. But they do.
Was
they
it
definitely
also
do.
done maybe on Pokemon Stadium 2? Because I learned a lot about battling
Possibly.
in Stadium 2 from Earl's Pokemon Academy.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I know that that's definitely not true.
Okay, so they're not proper shafted.
And I know that somewhere, like, people, like, said that at some point.
I thought that was true, and I've gone through the whole of my existence not thinking they get stabbed.
So yeah, normal types do get stab.
Okay, that's alright then, it's fixed.
Yeah. That was a quick fix, that one.
Yeah.
Just give them stab, it's fine.
Thank you, we're blessed.
I mean, to be fair, like, one of the best Pokemon in the game in the early generations, like, if you discount Mewtwo and, like, the other, like, big legendaries, Snorlax was one of the best Pokemon for the first 3 generations, like,
I mean,
like,
still
literally.
now, like...
It's still really good
really
now,
good.
yeah.
It's just a proper tank. It's just a good old tank. Beefy tank.
Yeah. And Tauros was, like, king of Gen 1 competitive as well.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
But I think that was mainly due to the broken mechanics in Gen 1.
We need to do a whole episode about Gen 1 mechanics.
Like the critical hit rate being based on speed, and also the fact that if you KO'd something with Hyper Beam, you didn't have to recharge.
What about things like what's it called? Talking about critical hits. What was the move?
Slash? No, focus energy.
Focus energy.
It made you
work.
Yeah, it made you not able to crit ever.
Yeah. It was so dumb. Oh god, there's a whole list on the internet of
Yeah.
why Gen 1 was ineffectively like the worst.
Yeah, we'll have to go over that at some point because it is
So
ridiculous.
funny.
Like, it's such a beloved game, but like there's so much wrong with it.
Bad. But yeah, so I would like to see a new Eevee. Like I said, I wouldn't lose sleep over it, and I do want a rock type, not just for the biscuit. But
it would be cool.
It would be cool. I could see them doing dragon because then it combats Sylveon, but like weak to Sylveon, I guess. But it's almost like they always come out in pairs.
Yeah,
there was the
except
3,
yeah.
the 2, the
Another one.
and
Yeah.
then it would be a nice pair up.
Yeah, I could see that.
But what else for Sword and Shield?
Well, like I said earlier, having your PC on the go would be
Yes.
great. Like, access your PC anywhere. That'd be brilliant.
Like, we already know they're not going to follow us as well, and that breaks my heart.
Well, I mean, we don't know that for 100% sure. Like, we know in the trailer, like, they didn't have any, but that doesn't mean that it won't be in it.
That's fair. I mean, I can see them not putting it in, but it is probably, without a doubt, my favourite Pokemon mechanic.
Let the Pokemon follow us, you cowards.
There's just such a connection, and it was so good in Let's Go.
And yeah, in Let's Go, you could even ride the Pokemon, which was brilliant. Although there was some issues with that. Like, I got my like lifelong dream of like riding Arcanine. However, there was lots of places, like lots of areas in Let's Go where the spaces were too small for Arcanine. But also, like, if you had Arcanine set as like your following quote Pokemon, your riding Pokemon, anytime that there would be available space, he would like spawn under you and you would start riding him. But like a lot of spaces, you'd go like 2 steps and then he would disappear again, walk another 2 steps, he'd reappear. Just give it a hitbox so you're always riding it in like appropriate like outside places.
Yeah.
As long as like it's somewhere you can ride the Pokemon, like give it a hitbox. So like, I don't know.
It's more
like,
of an
like,
area space than not just like dot.
Like, unless the situation calls for it, make every Pokemon available to ride in like every area, like
including Bellsprout.
Well,
it goes back to the fact that HMs used to be usable on fainted Pokemon, and you could like get your dead Pidgey to fly you home.
Yeah. Like, any Pokemon you should ride shouldn't be doing that thing where it disappears every 2 seconds and reappears. Like, just let me ride the Pokemon, like, for the whole time, please.
And Snorlax, how do you feel about that?
Or like, if they keep that thing in, like, where it disappears, like, give me more open spaces to just ride my Pokemon for, like, a long time. See, like, Cycling Road would have been great if it was, like, even longer, like, just to ride Pokemon.
I think it would have been difficult with Let's Go to add anything, because it was obviously a remake.
Yeah.
But I want... Like, if I could have, like, a wish from Nintendo, I mean, it probably wouldn't be this, but this would be high on my list. There'd be so much more I could ask from them. But a Breath of the Wild Pokemon game.
Like an open world.
That big. That
massive.
Fun. That, I don't know, tangible. And like one thing I really liked about Breath of the Wild was the fact that everyone played it all at the same time when it came out. But I had loads of different friends who were playing it, and they tell me things that I didn't realise, because they don't tell you anything. There's no tutorial. It's just like, get out, go.
Yeah, I didn't know about shield surfing for ages.
No, I didn't know you could drop an apple near a fire and like... Oh no, I think I knew that, but there was something to do with apples in general that someone taught me. And then there was loads of things, and like we all came together and like taught each other these little bits that were not explicitly explained. And if I could have that, but like reskinned as Pokemon,
yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I would love that. Like, and there'd be like, I love Pokemon in the overworld. I hope they bring that back.
Yeah,
I need that back in my life. It's so good. I thought I would hate that, honestly, but I think it changed like Pokemon playing for me.
Yeah,
entirely.
I'd be really surprised if they didn't bring it back, because like everyone likes it.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone likes it.
I mean, there's the shiny method hunters who love it.
Yeah.
Because then it just pings and you're like, wow. It makes it more fun, because I was a heavy Repel user.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get to places. And then I'd go back, because I was really into collecting everything, but I wanted to do it when I wanted to do it. I would normally get the story out of the way, train up, and then I would go and catch everything. I wanted to do that post game.
Yeah.
But I hate getting stuck early game. Mount Moon, for example, you've got one Repel that some poor chap left in his garden, and you're off to Mount Moon, and it's just bombardment, and you're like, I love Zubat. I'm not complaining about Zubat in general, but it makes it slightly unenjoyable personally for me. So going through Mount Moon and Let's Go, stuff was springing up. It felt more lively as well. I'm like, oh, I could go get that. Or I don't really want that, and like swerve. And sometimes a Pokemon will spawn under your feet.
Yeah.
But it's not as bad as the random encounters.
No.
And I mean, for example, it must have helped the speed running community so much, because I was watching the history of Red and Blue speedrunning, and this one guy had 18 Mount Moon encounters, and it was like, it added like 5 minutes to his time at the end. I felt so sorry for him. But 18 Mount Moon encounters.
That early in the run, I think you just restart, right?
I guess.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think he had like really good DVs
okay.
on his Squirtle. I don't know what he had.
I'm pretty sure Squirtle is what they use.
It's like it's either Squirtle or
Nidoking.
Nidoking, yeah. And I think this is the guy that does the Nidoking run.
Okay.
I think it's Worcester that does Squirtle. I could be wrong. And then it's the other guy who does Nido.
There's more than two.
Yeah, but there's like the two that would clash with it.
Like
then
best,
some guy would come up and be like, "Hey," so much so that they actually had a New World score that had dropped by like 2 minutes, and they actually debated for like ages, like I think about a year, before they could actually accept that it was real. They couldn't accept that it was real, because they assumed that there's no way it was possible.
Yeah.
So, but then eventually it became like one of the most known speedrunners, and that was a good video. Go and watch it, and we'll put it in the description.
Yeah,
it was a really good video. But they got to bring back Overworld. They have to. They don't have to. Not at like gunpoint, because there's like 900 Pokemon now.
I could see it going back to like how it's been. What about like the catching mini game? Do you think they bring that back from Let's Go? Or
no? I think that was purposefully done to tie in with Pokemon Go. I think that was to bring the Pokemon Go players into Pokemon, and then they'll play Sword and Shield, and this is the true mechanic in quotations. But I would love for it to come back. I'm of the opinion that I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I used to get frustrated about like both battles and catching, but now I'm only frustrated about battles. I'm like, oh, another battle. I really like the catching mechanic, but I don't think it's going to come back.
So I think I prefer the old way. But at the same time, I did like the Let's Go catching mechanic. So but I think the best way they could do it is if they did bring that into Sword and Shield, it would have to be like the legendary battles in Let's Go.
Yes.
Where
they were really cool. I was like, how do these even work? How do they expect me to just catch a Zapdos with like weakening it? I'm like sweating, like I don't know how to do this.
So I say take the legendary battles from Let's Go where you had to fight them and then you get the catch mini game afterwards. Make that like wild battles in Sword and Shield or whatever, and then what is it? The Mewtwo fight in Let's Go, where you've got you've got a time limit to like defeat him.
Really?
And then you get the catch mini game after that.
Wow. That's really cool.
I don't know. Did they have that with the legendary birds? And I don't remember. Maybe
I don't know,
they
I
were
was
just
saving the birds.
Oh, okay. See, I don't remember because I think.
Actually, no, I did Articuno.
Okay. Do you remember?
I don't think it had a time.
Okay.
Might have done.
If it did.
No, it did.
It did.
It did.
Okay.
Because then I was screaming. So, yes, it did, but it wasn't hard to beat.
Yeah, so that's why I think we can't remember if there was a timer because it wasn't hard.
It was irrelevant.
But
it
Mewtwo
was like 4 minutes.
is hard.
It didn't take long.
Mewtwo's meant to be hard, so I think they take the battle then the catch mini game for wild Pokemon with no time limit, and then for legendaries you should have a time limit.
Yeah.
With the battle and then the catch mini game after that.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I just
to make and like maybe make the legendary battle like hard, like in Ultra Sun and Moon, which you won't know because you don't.
Rip.
Ultra Necrozma in Ultra Sun and Moon, the battle that you have against that is actually really hard for the level that you're sort of supposed to be at.
Yeah, you were telling me about this.
Yeah.
It was like ridiculously hard.
Like you have to actually like I went in thinking, oh, it's just another legendary battle, but because his stats are like really big anyway, because he's a big legendary, but he also gets like the totem Pokemon boost where like his stats are boosted as well.
Buff.
And like I just got absolutely completely wrecked by him on the first playthrough, and I was just like, I'm gonna have to actually strategize against this guy.
I love that though. Like every once in a while, I'll come across a fight in a game, not just in Pokemon, but in general. So Cynthia was that for me.
Yeah.
Because I was so balanced and good at Pokemon by Gen 4. And Cynthia actually wrecked me the first time. And that was the first time. I think that's probably one of the big things that I fell in love with both her and the games in general, because there's like points in a game where suddenly you just feel more alive and more like you're not doing the motions. Another example is in Okami. There is a fight. I don't know if it's technically post-game. You can do it during game, but it's late on in the game because it's such a massive game. And you can go back and you can fight these characters that you have to collect. And I was like, this is going to be easy. And no, it was solid. And then there's like loads of little bits that they put in the game that you can do during the game that are really like ramped up in difficulty, because Okami's not a difficult game.
Yeah.
But then they're like, try this. And it just smacks you in the face. And I really like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I would love for them to put a bit of that in Sword and Shield, where there'll be like the odd fight and it makes you really like on the edge of your seat, like fighting for your life. That I think that's like an immeasurable part of any game, if it can make you feel like that alive.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that.
Yeah,
so,
I do like being challenged.
Yeah, I love it.
And not like not like a challenge through the whole way, but like difficulty spikes are always really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. What did I struggle with in Let's Go? One of the gym leaders just absolutely tanked me. It could have been Erica for some reason. One of the gym leaders just destroyed me. I was fine with all of them, but for some reason I struggled with one of them. I didn't lose. I didn't like faint or anything.
Maybe it was Sabrina. Sabrina's usually like a pretty hard one, like for Gen 1 games, I think, because Psychic is really good in Gen 1.
Oh yeah, I remember playing her on Pokemon State. Oh my god, and all you had was like Jolteon with Pin Missile. It's the only way you could get through it. Might have been, I don't know, but yeah, difficulty spikes. I've got a feeling Sword and Shield is going to still have elements that I know the Pokemon community is very split on, but we've got to remember that Pokemon's always been inclusive of new players.
Yeah.
and we can't just expect everything to be as difficult as we want it.
No.
Because it's not for veterans, it's for intro. Like, it's always there's always post game for us.
Yeah, it's always going to be someone's first Pokemon game.
Yeah, exactly. And not only is it someone's first Pokemon game, it's like life changing for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people, so there seems to be a split, like they either started in Gen 1 or they started in Gen 4, which is really interesting.
Okay.
And some of them crossed over into 5, and I never really hear about like X and Y being the first one, Sun and Moon being the first one, but we will hear about that in a few years from like older kids when they grow up, like, oh, my first was X and Y, Sun and Moon, and that's gonna be, it's always, like you said, it's always gonna be someone's first, and it's always gonna have that group of people that it does affect their lives that big. So one thing I don't want people to moan about is like, oh, it's for babies. It's like they've babied it up, dumbed it down, and it's like, it's got to be inclusive.
Yeah, I think that there's merit in like turning off like the tutorials though for like veteran players.
Oh yeah.
Like if there's like an option to like
know how to.
Yeah, do you know how to catch a Pokemon? If I say no, don't then still tell me how to catch a Pokemon.
The guy in the
or like in Gold and Silver.
Drunk guy.
Oh yeah.
With your mum in Gold and Silver.
Yeah, so do you know how to use your phone?
And you're like, yes, and she's like, don't you just press it on and then call someone and die? I'm like, mother, but she's like a real mom. You'll say that to your actual mom and she'll be like, she'll just repeat it, and I'm like, what? Like that confused guy gif with all the question marks. I'm like, I know how to use a phone. I was of that era.
Yeah, and like just anything to sort of make the game challenging, like turning off the EXP share, for example.
Yeah.
Like that's something that you can do manually to like
real hardcore. Turn off the running shoes. If you want to be like veteran, you turn off them running shoes. You don't come at me and say Pokemon's too easy until you turn off them shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I think, before running shoes.
Yeah. I think it should definitely be there to like be someone's first Pokemon game, to be
someone's
inclusive.
Someone's 10th.
Yeah. It should be inclusive, but it should also have the option to like make it more challenging.
I think if any company is aware of it, I think Pokemon is very hyper aware of their older players. Yeah,
because in Black and White 2, once you finish the game once, like beat the Elite Four one time, depending on what version you got, you could restart the game on an easy mode or a hard mode.
Oh, I need to play Black 2, White 2.
Oh, we should do that.
We should.
I think it was White 2 that had the easy mode, or I don't remember which one, but I never bothered with the easy mode because you've already beaten the game. Like you have that was the weird thing about the easy mode. You had to beat the game to unlock easy mode, which is really weird. But beating the game to unlock hard mode, I think that's really cool.
It's like the Stadium games did that.
Yeah,
you had
like, round 2.
Round 2, and it was solid, and I never finished round 2.
Yeah,
I was left crying. Like, wow, get into like red.
I'd love to stream
round
Stadium.
2. Might be better at it now. I was a child, but whoa! Unless you brought in and imported in games, there was no way with the standard rentals.
I think that would be a challenge. I think
it would be a challenge. That'd be a challenge leaving me crying. It's like you get to Mewtwo as well, don't you?
Yeah.
I got that far.
But you get 6 Pokemon versus Mewtwo.
Which is really weird.
That is not actually that hard.
Yeah. And I remember the Mount Silver background was really cool.
Yeah.
I always pick that in my Anything Goes.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cool. But, I mean, come back to Sword and Shield, I think I'm really open to it. Like you said, I don't want to know too much right now. And it's almost like I'm leaving my mind blank.
Yeah.
But I like that it looks like it's set in England.
Yes.
And the memes that have come from that, as a British person, keep them up.
And also,
please,
going back to what we were talking about way earlier, you know how there was the pop-up shop in Paris?
Yes.
Which was around XY time.
XY.
So that means there could be a pop-up
shop in London.
In London, maybe.
We're gonna go.
Yeah. Possibly. We'll see.
Or they'll do it in the actual, because it looks like they're basing it off the Steam industry, I guess. Like, what was it? Like the industry of the UK.
Yeah.
Like, and if they really want to be authentic, they need to put it in Stockton.
Yeah.
like where the
Birmingham
steam
or
train
something.
was actually, yeah, like the steam engine was created in like my birth town.
Yeah.
And if they really want to do a pop-up shop, get it in Stockton.
Yeah. Or Sheffield or something.
Or a miner's town.
Yeah.
Like Flint. It would be in London though. Or
Yeah.
Manchester. I mean, that's
Oh
a
yeah,
big
Manchester.
industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cheaper there. So if you're listening to Nintendo, go do one in Manchester because I'd love that.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you think like you want to like predict or like hope for in Sword and Shield?
My biggest hope is that Pokemon follow you and that they're in the overworld.
Okay.
At least give me one of those, please. Like, I'd go if I had to pick. I think I'd go overworld because it makes it more fun in general to play.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, I think, yeah, definitely I want them to bring back Pokemon following. Like, it's not an essential thing, but it's just so nice. It's so good.
You connect so deeply with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I don't know. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And then, like, a hard mode would be good. And maybe if there is a hard mode, you don't have to beat the entire game first. Maybe you just need to start the game on hard mode.
I think our biggest hope is that Cynthia pops up somewhere in the game.
Yeah,
like,
she'll
"Do you
be
want a battle?"
around.
I'm like, wait, let's go. And when she popped up in black and white, I was like,
there's one more thing also. Do you think there's going to be like a new mechanic, like a battle mechanic, like Megas or Z moves or?
I mean, they do tend to go for that gimmicky aspect, but I mean, what could they? I didn't like Z moves as much as Megas.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Megas.
So there's like
Also,
rumors
call them
go.
Zed moves. Is that bad?
There's rumors going around about armor Pokemon.
Is that because of Sword and Shield?
Well, possibly, and also the remake of the first Pokemon movie's got Armor Mewtwo in it.
Oh, right.
Because there was armored Mewtwo in the first film, but in this remake they kind of redesigned it so he looks even like cooler.
Oh, that would be kind of cool, but does that just add to defense? Like, what could you do with armor?
I don't know. Like,
it doesn't necessarily make you more powerful; it
announced
makes you more defensive.
Armor Pokemon. I think at first, like, it would probably be the same reaction as Megas for me. Like, because when Megas were announced, I was like, Mega Pokemon? What? That's like Digimon.
I was until they announced Mega Tyranitar. I was like, move over. I'm ready for this.
I remember thinking,
like the stones
like loads of people at the time, like, thought, like, Digimon.
Digimon.
Yeah.
Because it goes, it's
you
the
go
first
back.
thing to reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very Digimon-esque. Z moves, I think, was just,
it's like your ultimate
We'll
move,
do a whole
kind of.
episode on why I didn't like Sun and Moon, I promise you. But Z moves plays into that. It was cringy. I actually found it kind of cringy.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of like Z moves in a way. Like one Pokemon on your team gets like an ultimate move, basically.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like that.
Pancake.
Pulverizing Pancake. Snorlax, yeah.
Z moves are worth it for that alone, I think. But I just didn't care. I could have played that entire game and not used a Z move, other than being forced to. Probably.
Yeah, I think
in every cutscene
for the story, like you don't need the Z moves except maybe against Ultra Necrozma or something.
Yeah. It just
it's the same in X and Y. You didn't really need Mega Pokemon to get through the story.
Yeah, you didn't.
That was something that
it was fun though.
In X and Y, that was something that I was kind of disappointed with because after the third gym, you got your Mega Stone, your Keystone, and then you could start collecting your Mega Stones for your Pokemon. And so you would think that like every important trainer after that point would have a Mega Pokemon, but they didn't. It was only like a few.
I get excited when another trainer does have a Mega. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
It was only like Lysander and then like Diantha, the champion.
Yeah.
And maybe like one or two others, which was kind of boring. It made like the story a bit like lackluster because like the whole thing was about Mega Evolution,
like,
but no one used them
in the whole world. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like maybe if they could incorporate something that I like. I mean, how much time do we have? You've got to go pick up Lauren, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. maybe we should.
We'll wrap up.
But yeah, so in conclusion, 3 people in the entire world have Mega Stones, and more people should have it. I don't think that I could see them bringing in a mechanic, but I couldn't tell you what it would be.
No, me neither.
No,
They'll probably announce something.
Gimmicky.
Yeah.
I mean, like very quickly, the Megas and the Z moves were very, very quickly made into toys.
Yes.
It's something to bring into the toy aspect as well.
If there is something, I hope. I just don't want it to like conflict or like get muddled with like Megas and Z moves, because like
it's getting too much now. Like you get your Mega Charizard with a Z move and an armor, and you're like, what is this mess?
Well,
I know you can't combine them, but can you imagine like
Yeah.
it just piles up, and you're like, I don't know.
Like if there's another mechanic in this generation that is like one per Pokemon or like one per team, like in 3 generations time, do you have like one of each on a 6 Pokemon
it's
team?
like you've got a Mega Charizard, a pulverizing Pancake, and an armored Mewtwo, and you're just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we'll see what happens though. Yeah, I guess.
Which one are you getting, Sword or Shield?
Sword, I guess.
Yes. Sword. And then our partners, I guess, are getting Shield.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll reserve my choice, my decision
I just like
until.
swords, like,
Well, I mean, yeah, I think
it's like
people like swords better than shields in general. However, I think it'll be based on the legendary. For me. They'll probably announce that tomorrow, so my decision will probably be made.
Yeah, but I mean, I chose Moon because I had a bat. So
yeah, I chose Sun because it had a lion.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to pick just based on the names, I think I originally went for Sun, but then Moon had a bat, so it could change for me.
Yeah,
but as of right now, Sword.
Okay.
Yeah,
same.
Cool.
All right.
So that was our first. That was a pilot.
Yeah. And it's. I don't think it's always going to be this long. There was just a lot to talk about today.
I think we're really excited. I think once we've talked about everything that we wanted to get off our chests about Pokemon, then it's going to be a lot shorter.
Yeah.
So it's nearly 2 hours long, but we did cough a lot. That needs editing out. So that's fine. But let us know in the comments. Like, I kind of like the idea of taking this to Twitch and doing it live. Yeah. And then we can upload it to YouTube still. That's not
we can still do that. Comment on the length. Like maybe an hour and a half podcast is fine. I don't know. I'd probably like maybe want to keep it to an hour maximum.
Yeah. But I mean, we've got a lot to discuss at the moment. But I mean, we're very new to this. This is our first run. Oh my god, this is like, I'm quite nervous about this in general. I'm very excited for it, but I'm also like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm excited too.
I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, let us know what you think. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, are we signing off?
Yeah. We'll see you
Still
guys.
in Viridian Forest.
Yeah,
trust us.
We'll welcome you back to Viridian Forest next week after the Sword and Shield Direct. Yeah.
Ooh, see you later, guys.
See ya.
Bye.